everything that goes woke, that buys into this ridiculous progressive ideology, that cares about what contractors are LGBT.
Conservative commentator Dave Rubin blamed California wildfires on woke culture. Now, this claim was made on Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News. I'll get to the clip in a minute here. It's just spectacular. But let me set it up. So CNBC reports here. PG&E says its power lines may have started 2 fires in California over the weekend. So this is the basis of the conversation, and I'll get to more on PG&E in a minute here. But first, you got to watch this. It's crazy.
So, Dave, thanks so much for coming on. You moved to California because it's a beautiful place, and I agree with that. You've seen it really degrade in the time that you've been there, but PG&E strikes me as almost a metaphor for the destruction of the state. So here's the utility, which doesn't really know anything about its own infrastructure, but knows everything about the race of its employees. How did we get there?
It's just unbelievable. Look, I've been in LA. I'm in LA right now. I live about a minute away from one of the big fires that's still going. I have friends that are evacuated. Los Angeles, putting politics aside, in Southern California, might be the most beautiful part of the United States.
Yes.
The problem right now is that everything from academia to public utilities to politics, everything that goes woke, that buys into this ridiculous progressive ideology, that cares about what contractors are LGBT, or how many black firemen we have, or white this or Asian that. Everything that goes that road eventually breaks down. It is not how freedom is supposed to operate. What is supposed to happen, Tucker, imagine if your house was on fire. Would you care what the public utility or what the fire company, what contractor they brought in, what gender or sexuality or any of those things he or she was? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Who would care?
And right now we've got a
that?
situation. Of course you wouldn't care, and we've got a situation right now where we're doing preemptive blackouts in this state, which I think is the 11th largest economy in the entire world. We do preemptive blackouts because they don't want to put too much pressure on the grid. I mean, try to imagine the absurdity of what's going on here. And I hate to tell you, but we just don't have enough clear thinking, say more libertarian or conservative-minded people in California to fight what the progressives are doing to the state.
All right. Every time I see Dave Rubin, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, or it's just, I usually laugh, but it's just, there's nothing there. Everything he said is wrong or backwards or misconstrued in some way. I mean, it's amazing. Dave Rubin talks so much about, the progressives are so obsessed with identity politics, identity. Yet every time we see Dave Rubin, every time he's on Fox News, he's talking about identity. That's what he is obsessed with. So much like many conservatives, the insult that they throw at other people is actually what they themselves are doing. Dave Rubin is so focused on this, and I'll tell you why, because he himself is gay. He's married to a man. He is a gay married man, and he says this all the time. He brings it up all the time. So what happens? Conservative outlets use Dave Rubin, use the fact that he is gay to attack people that are gay, to attack the gay community, to attack woke culture, as he calls it. How the hell do you blame the LGBT community or black firefighters or wokeness for wildfires? It's absurd. So the only connection he's trying to draw here is that, well, PG&E, they know the exact demographics of their employees, so that means they're obsessed with LGBT people. They're obsessed with ensuring they have black people working there and Latino people. And now all of a sudden, Dave Rubin pours that also into firefighters, which wasn't even part of the discussion. But now he's saying, well, we got to make sure you have enough black firefighters. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Knowing the demographics of your employees has nothing to do with your inability to generate infrastructure, to rebuild your crumbling infrastructure as a electric company. So PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, the reality is this is happening because they are focused on making profits for themselves. They are focused on short-term profits as opposed to long-term gains for their customers. Because, like typical capitalism in America, it's all about short-term gains, short-term profits, regardless of the impact on the rest of the world or even their customers. So let me read a bit about this from The Guardian. PG&E declared bankruptcy in January, in part because of potential liabilities from its role in some of the 2017 Northern California fires and the 2018 Camp Fire that killed a total of 129 people and destroyed tens of thousands of homes. Investigators traced the origins of some of the 2017 fires to trees falling on power lines. In some cases, trees that should have been cleared by PG&E because of their proximity to the lines. In the Camp Fire, a tower constructed in the 1920s, again, a tower constructed in the 1920s, well past its projected lifespan, was implicated as the cause. So PG&E has been reckless because they are a private company, because they focus on short-term profits, on profits for their shareholders, on profits for the company as a whole, on profits for the executive branch. Because they focus on profits over people, this is what happens. For them, it makes more financial sense to worry about the mess later if something happens, as opposed to preemptively fixing the infrastructure that is crumbling in the forest. We have power lines touching trees. More from Vice here. When a privately owned utility is not busy with maximizing profits, it's burning money on lobbying and campaign contributions. In PG&E's case, that meant spending billions on PR and lobbyists instead of safety upgrades, but also funding climate denialism to maximize profits from fossil fuels. So not only are they focused, instead of focusing on safety upgrades, they're focused on spending billions on PR and lobbying, but also putting funding into climate change denialism, which is another piece of the puzzle when it comes to these raging fires. So what we are talking about here, the reason for these wildfires is capitalism. The way capitalism operates in America. That is the reason for it. Yet Dave Rubin will say, well, these fires are happening because of woke culture. Oh my, it's because of the black firefighters, obviously. It's because of the LGBT community. I mean, there's not enough LGBT firefighters, not enough black Latino firefighters to fight these fires. Because, there's this long line of white male firefighters that want to fight these fires. But these companies are saying, or the firefighters are saying, no, you know what? We got to have more diversity to fight these fires. So all you white guys that want to fight these fires, forget about it. Go back home. We got to wait until some more black firefighters come up. Otherwise, well, we're all dead and the fire's going to keep spreading. Like, this is the clown land. I don't even know how to explain it. I guess circus makes more sense. This is the circus that Dave Rubin lives in, the mental circus he lives in. This doesn't exist. What he is describing does not exist. The actual problem here is money, is greed, is the focus on profits over people. I mean, that is what they could have actually talked about. So I know this is Fox News, and they're never going to actually critique capitalism in a way that completely exposes it in the way that this story actually does. So instead, woke culture. And of course, they bring on Dave Rubin to once again bash the LGBT community because he's the perfect guy to use as a gay married man to bash so-called woke culture.